Hello everyone and welcome to the Kat Scrappiness channel. Today we're going to take a look at the brand new June 2023 release. Hi everyone, it's Janet and welcome to my craft room. Today I'm here for Kat Scrappiness and I'm very excited to come on with you today because I'm going to be showing you the whole release for June, which is very large. And what we've got this month is a whole array of multimedia products. So we've got powders, we have gels, we have pastes, we have mousses, and some other fun stuff that we will take a look at, some different toppings and things that you can play with. There's also a few traditional releases. Some new glitter paper pads have come out, and we've got a cute, adorable die you're going to want to see. So I'm going to go ahead and start showing you samples of all this, along with some cards. And then I just want to alert you that there should be other videos that come out at the same time as this one that's going to be a deeper dive into each of the product groupings. So check that out. You should be able to find some more stuff on specific products and some other tips and tricks that I'll tell you about so that you can get the most out of them. And then do also take a look at what the design team is putting out there. We have a whole new video team that is going to be providing to you all kinds of techniques, tutorials, and just exciting stuff for you to see using the Kat Scrappiness products. So this new revamped video team is very exciting, and you'll really be able to enjoy everything that this very talented team is bringing. So with that, why don't we get started? I'm going to show you first some swatches that I made of pearl powders. Pearl powders are very fine silicate ground powders, and this powder creates the glow that you're seeing here. Some would call it a shimmer, some call it metallics. Either way, it is a very pretty finish. And I'm going to show you what they look like in the bottle. This is one called Emerald. Comes in a nice sized container. Just tap the top of it because I don't want to get it all over. Hopefully, I won't do that. But if you can see that, it is very fine powder. And it's very beautiful. And this will stick to papers, and you can use it in your multimedia projects. There's lots of things you can do with it. For example, you can mix it in water to make a shimmer spray. You can use different kinds of materials like a glue or even watermark ink. That will be enough for the powders to stick on, and I'll show you an example of that in a minute or two. And you can paint with it, just add water to it to create kind of a faux watercolor. You can add it to regular watercolor to turn a flat watercolor paint into a shimmer paint or a metallic paint. You can use it through stencils. You can just brush it on. I mean, there's just quite a few things you can do with it to get some really neat looks. So there are actually 11 colors that you can use. And my swatches here I did on both white cardstock and black cardstock, just because on white cardstock or a light colored cardstock, a lot of these colors are just fairly light and very subtle. But when you put them on a black or a dark cardstock, they come out much more predominantly. And you can kind of see that in these, although not as much as when I show you the next group of colors that I have, because these are the darker ones. Mint is a little bit light here, but it really comes out nicely in the dark. Emerald the same. You can, and really all of these colors. I love the dark blue. It's beautiful, and then on the black is even more gorgeous. So I just wanted to show you that because they do look different depending on whether it's dark or light cardstocks that you're applying them to. In this case I use black or white, but you could use dark navy, dark brown, any color you can think of, and you'll get kind of that similar effect as long as the cardstock is very, very deep and dark like this black is. So here we have red wine, which is a nice burgundy-ish, sort of reddish color, mint, emerald, pink, and dark blue. Aren't they just beautiful? I think they're just gorgeous. And then here is a better demonstration of what I was talking about earlier, though I would say they do show up on camera a bit more so, I think, than in person. But this white silver is a very good example. See how subtle that is on white cardstock? but on the black it's very clearly silvery and sticks out a lot more. So you see the white gold, it looks kind of just, actually it looks a lot like white silver above it, but on the black cardstock, do you see how yellow gold that is? And then up here with the white silver, it's definitely a white silver, whereas we have the gold. But again, look at the white cardstocks, they look very close to the same thing. So we have bronze here, black, white silver, as I already mentioned, gold, brown, and white gold. So again, 11 beautiful colors. So let me show you an example of it. Take a look at this. The background here was made using the layered bokeh stencils. So there were 3 stencils, and I used 3 different colors of the pearl powders and layered them up. And to get the pearl powder to stick, I used watermark ink in this case. And I just love this look with the bokeh. I mean, it's perfect, right? That's what bokeh looks like. So I really love this example. Now here is another card that I made using the pearl powders. I just have to keep moving it because it just shines so great. But in this case, I used a Spellbinders embossing folder, and you can find Spellbinders embossing folders and other brands on the Kat Scrappiness website. But I embossed it with white, and then I used, again, watermark ink and just rubbed that ink over the top of it, and that ink got picked up by the raised surfaces of the embossing. And then I used a layering brush, you know, like this one, for example. Don't pay attention to my wacky color here. But a brush like this is what you need. And you can just apply it really nicely to the areas you want in different colors. That's how I got my pinkish red poppies, my green leaves, and my blue flowers as well. A very beautiful finish there. Now you could do a similar thing using watercolor paper, embossing it, and then painting with the embossing powders mixed with some water. So there's lots of things you can do with it, but it's a gorgeous finish, and really one that'd be hard to get any other way than by using the powders. All right, let's move on to the next grouping of multimedia. And this is glitter mousse. Isn't it beautiful? So I have the glitter mousses here. There are 20 colors in this. And I've got little swatches here so you can see what they look like. But it comes in a 50 milliliter jar like that. And they all come sealed. When you open it up, there you can see that gorgeous mousse. And it is just loaded, and I mean loaded with glitter. So after it dries, you still have a ton of glitter in that finished look. And you can see that from here. I just used a whale stencil for all of my swatches. So let's go through these. White gold, pink gold, bronze, silver, copper, gold, chocolate, black night, and rainbow. Now for these, I did do black and white swatches, but I found that on black, there really wasn't any difference in how the colors came through. It was very much the same, so I didn't bother to put them on the swatches to show you. Just be aware that if it looks bronze here, it's going to look the same way on a black piece of cardstock. There is one color though that is not that way, and that is this rainbow color. So you can see on the black it looks very aqua in color, very sea-like, but over here on white it is completely white, maybe with a little pink shining through. So I suspect if you tried this rainbow on different colors, it might also again look a little different depending on what color's underneath it. But man, that is very different, right? So as I said, rainbow is the one that's kind of the chameleon, but the rest of them are very much the same, again, whether it's dark or light cardstock that you apply them to. And typically you would apply the glitter mousse using a stencil. That's kind of the typical or most common use, but you could also paint with it to some degree. You could create a very textured surface as if you were painting with a palette knife, for example. I know there's a lot of really talented people out in the cat scrappiness world who could come up with all kinds of fun stuff to do with it. Now we're going to get into the colors. So we got a rainbow of colors here, and I kind of arranged them into color families. So I didn't write the color of this one. I've got to look that up for you. I just realized I didn't write it down. But we do have Bounty, Blue Shabby, Emerald, Forest Green, Spring Foliage, Ruby, Violet, Fuchsia, Pink Shabby, and Poppy. So these are really, really pretty colors, and I'm going to try to find that blue. I think it's called Electric. Yes, this is called Electric. And yes, it is the electric blue, but isn't that gorgeous? These are so fun to work with. But again, I will do a whole nother video that you should be able to find that's going to go into the mousses and show you how it was applied and how I'm using it. So hopefully that will help you out if you're short of ideas or not sure what you would do with it. And again, the design team is going to have lots of good ideas too that you can take advantage of. All right, we also have some fun toppings that are in the store at this time. So this is Deco topping marble. So it's just crushed marble that you can use on top of paste, or you can use glue. And I'll just point out that there are flecks of brown in here as well as white. So just be aware of that. Now this has been in the store before, but we're just reintroducing it and reminding people about it. I applied this using art glitter glue. I just drew on it and then shook the Deco topping on it, and it really, you know, okay, I got a couple grains off, that's it. So it sticks really well. There's also some colored sand. We've got 2 colors of sand that you can play with and use in your multimedia projects. And one color is beige, and then we have white. So you can see here, this is the beige sand. Did the same thing with art glitter glue, but Barely Arts, not Barely There, goodness. Barely Arts glue, I'm sure would be a very similar experience. And then we have the white. So to look at that, you know, here is the beige. And then we have colored sand in white. And there are just a few tiny grains of darker color in here, but it's very subtle. But in any case, that is what it looks like here on craft paper. Now, one thing I noticed that I didn't realize till I was playing with it is that the white does have a bit of a sparkliness to it. So I think it would also make a really great snow potentially. The Deco topping, of course, makes a nice snow. Because it's marble, it does shine as well. There's definitely shininess in it. Sparkliness, that's probably the better word. I don't know if you can pick any of that up. I'm going to move it around and maybe you will see it. You might have to take my word for it. The colored sand is flat. There is no shininess at all, no sparkliness, but there is just a little bit in the white, and then again the marble is much more bold in terms of the sparkliness that it has. So those are great additions to your crafting table as well. So I've got 2 more products I'm going to show you. First of all, we have 3D Gel Snow Effect, and this is pretty neat stuff. So this is a gel product, and it's infused with pretty things that look like snow once it has dried. So I want to show you what I mean. So this is some of that right here, and you can see it's, well, maybe you can't see it, but there is definitely a little bit of shine in it. It's not a lot, but you can see a tiny bit. And it is, as you can tell here, it's a gel product, but you know, what you do is you stir it up and then you get all kinds of goodies on your palette knife or your brush when you apply it. And when it dries, all you see, or all that's left, are the goodies that were in it, okay? So super fun. Now you could use this and then put more of either the colored sand in white or the marble Deco topping on this, and you get even a more chunky and shiny effect or sparkly effect. The last one I'm going to show you is acrylic structure gel, crystal pearls. And this, you can't really make it out in here, but this is infused also with tons of glitter and glass little balls. And this is what that looks like. It looks like, you know, like ice when it dries. And just for fun, I did it on black too. You know, maybe for nighttime scenes, this would be fun on a card to replicate ice, you know, at night, like on a pond or something. I think that maybe could work really nicely. But as far as the ice or crystals that you would see as snow, it's really quite pretty. You can see that. Now, I put this on regular cardstock, but I would probably recommend that to avoid any kind of curling, you might want to use a very heavy cardstock, like 110-pound or even higher, or as a substitute to that, watercolor paper, because it can absorb the water or the liquid that's in these gels and pastes and not wrinkle as much as mine did, this was like 65-pound paper. So it really can't take any kind of liquid without buckling a little bit. So that's that. All right, let's look at a couple more projects. First, I'm going to show you this one. Now, I used the Falling Stars stencil for this. So here I used 3 of the glitter mousse colors together. I have a silver tone, a gold tone, and then this purple tone, and blended it a little bit together so I could get a bunch of different colored stars, and even like this one is half gold, half purple, and it turned out really nice. Now you'll notice I've got one of our shaker kit stars on this. This is a shaker kit which you buy that has actually 3 stars in it, and this part I coated with a little bit of pixie spray, which is typically used for stencils, to hold stencils down. But I decided to give it a try on this top piece because it's a wood piece that goes on here. It's very thin veneer wood. So I sprayed it and then applied the pearl powder to it. I think this was bronze, I think. And I used the blending brush for that, and it stuck perfectly, and it got such a nice smooth finish to it. I really love it. And I discovered that pixie dust actually works really good as a glue if you want to use it on paper or on something like this, which is a thin veneer again, and you get a beautiful coating. Just looks gorgeous, right? The filler in this is Let Freedom Ring Again sequin mix. It has stars in white and red reflective finishes, and also that blue and red sequins. They're just holographic goodness. Very beautiful. There's some other little things in here too, like little bugle beads and things, but anyway, it's beautiful. So there's an example, again, using the glitter paste. And on here, some of the beautiful pearl powders. All right, now let's get into some of the more traditional things that have been released. First of all, I'm going to show you this die. This is a Polaroid die, and it makes a Polaroid die cut. It looks like one of those old-fashioned Polaroid cameras when you get done putting it together. I have a card that I'll show you in a minute that has one of these pieced together, but these are the pieces that come in it. So that's a great addition. And very excitingly, we have 2 new paper pads in the glitter, or the faux glitter cardstock. So if you're a fan of the other glitter pad that we have, you're going to want these. They are just gorgeous, and it starts out with a super light color in this pink and gradually gets darker and more bold until it is really dark as it is at the end. And you know, in the original paper pad you had 2 different tones on each side, so it might be a dark blue or pink on this side and a light pink on this side. In these pads you have the same color on both sides, but then there are 4 sheets of each color tone, 2-sided. So you get that gradation of color. It's really pretty. Just like the pink, we also have teal glitter, and it does the same thing. Starts off very light colored Both sides are the same, goes gradually darker. Every 4 sheets until you get to the very dark at the end. So these, like this, I can really see for ocean themed cards in particular. The pinks, I mean, are just beautiful. So, I mean, you name it, you could use it. It also reminds me maybe a little bit of girl, boy. So if you had scrapbook pages or cards that you're doing related to smaller boys and girls, these could be great. But also, can you see these with the pink with flower die cuts or backgrounds that are featuring more of a feminine theme? And the teal could very easily be a more masculine theme, especially these dark colors here. But these have been very popular, at least the original one was very popular, so we're really happy on the design team to see some more color options. And I hope maybe we'll see more for Christmas. Who knows? Maybe we'll see something for fall. I have no idea. I can only like say, I hope we do. And maybe we will. Let's hope so. We'll see. So that is all new, right? These are new. But then we have one more product that I want to bring out to talk about a little bit with you. And that is, we have some new magnetic die storage sheets. These are 5 in a pack. And I want to show you how heavy they are. This is very thick material and it is sturdy, right? So what you do is you put them in the Avery L large stamp and die storage pockets. They fit perfectly, they being the little magnetic sheets. Fit perfectly in here, so they're sized exactly for that. And you of course will put your dies on here so that they don't get lost. Here's one that I had used to keep my Polaroid die. I don't think that you need to put any other additional piece in here. I know some people with the thinner materials will stick a piece of cardstock in with it to make it a bit more stiff, but you know, I'm holding it here on the edge and it's not really drooping up very much. So it is pretty thick and pretty sturdy. So you might avoid having to do that extra work and expense of putting in another piece of cardstock with these if you use them. So these are available at the store. They are again called magnetic die storage sheets. And they again pair with the Avery L large stamp and die storage pockets. And of course both of these are sold in the Kat Scrappiness store for you. All right. Let's set that aside. Now I wanted to show you a card I made with the Polaroid die. Is that not the most cute thing you've ever seen? I think it's adorable. And I used some of the pink glitter cardstock in the new paper pad and black cardstock to make this. The background is the Falling Hearts stencil, and I used 3 different colors of glitter mousse again. And this is a slimline, mini slimline card. I also used the Cheers die, the word die that you can find in the store without the shadow background, and I stacked 4 cuts of that up to get the chunky Cheers word phrase. So anyway, I think that is really quite nice. Okay, let's take a last look at the 4 cards I made and just remind you that there's many more videos to watch, both produced by me and others on the design team, that will delve a bit deeper into each of these different product groups and give you lots of ideas and suggestions and tips for using them. So I thank you for joining us. We are very grateful when you do watch us. Please consider subscribing if you haven't yet and give it a thumbs up. Those likes really help the channel get noticed by others who don't know about us. Thank you again, and I'll see you soon. Take care and happy crafting, everybody. Bye.